And hello, everyone. And thank you for showing up to this live. It's been a while since we have done a live. Let me get over here to comments as we are going to be moving forward with this. Looks like have a few people coming in right now. Looks like we have Billy Bones who is in. Hey, Billy, how are you doing? And of course, we know who Billy really is. Okay, so for those of you who are going to be watching this later on, I say this every live, and I do mean it. Please just bear with me as the opening gets going. We're waiting for people to come in. We have Rebecca who just came in right now. Hey, Rebecca, how are you? I do hope all is well with you. And as we get going, I'm going to be taking these things off because they're like reflecting all this light. And Katharina, how are you? Thank you for popping in. I appreciate it. Is everyone able to hear me okay? I have a new setup here, so I just want to make sure that everyone's able to hear me. All right. Thank you, Rebecca. Rebecca was one who had mentioned that she has a Batman shirt. And so I said, well, I have a Batman shirt, so I'm going to wear it. I was originally going to wear the Saving Ghost shirt, but hey, you can't pass up a good Batman shirt. Thank you, Katharina. I appreciate that. Thank you, Billy. I appreciate that. Looks like we have a few more people coming in. We've got Miss Gina Miller in the house. Gina is, of course, one of our moderators. In fact, she was our very first moderator over at the Saving Ghosts Facebook group. So, Gina, thank you for popping in. Miss Lynn, what's going on? Okay, so saying that the video is a tad fuzzy. Yeah, very could well be the subject that you are looking at that is a tad fuzzy. Just saying. So we actually do have a few things to go over this evening before we get on to some of the fun stuff. This is something that I haven't really done ever, I think. Usually our conversations just kind of go off into whatever, stratosphere they decide to go off into. But I do have some announcements that I wanted to make, and also figured this would be a really good chance to do an official Q&A. I've never actually done that before. Why, I don't know, but thought, hey, why not? We've got Faith in the house. Hello, Faith. How are you? Steva, what's going on? Well, Steva says not going to be able to stay for too terribly long. Of course, she's across the pond. But nonetheless, I do appreciate you coming in and giving us just a few seconds of your time. Thank you so much for that. It is the weekend. It most definitely is the weekend. I want to give a shout out to, we have a lot of new subscribers who have come into the channel. And so I do want to give a shout out to them and say thank you so much for becoming part of the Saving Ghost family. I really do appreciate it. It's a small channel, and it could be argued as to why it's a small channel. But I do appreciate you becoming part of the Saving Ghost family. I'm sorry, I can't chew gum and walk at the same time, so I'm looking at the comments while I'm trying to talk to you, and my brain doesn't work that way. So I apologize about that. I'm going to give it just a few more moments here. and see if we have anybody else coming in. Okay, so it has finally happened. I've been living out here in Pennsylvania for about 3 years now. Of course, originally from Las Vegas, Nevada, where you're in the middle of the desert. And people don't understand that it does get cold in the desert. It really does. But you don't get the cold that you get out here in Pennsylvania. And so I figured one day it's going to happen in the wintertime. I'm not sure when, but it will. And today was that day where I finally took my spill on some ice down the sidewalk. It was a glorious thing. Glorious. And I say that with all the sarcasm in the world. So, Katharina saying something very nice. It's a shame that the channel hasn't more subscribers, as it's apparently that you have vast knowledge and, more importantly, respect for ghosts. Katharina, thank you so much. And that's actually one of the things that I wanted to get into tonight that we're going to be touching on in a little bit. Billy Bones is saying, "Oh no, hope you didn't hit your head." It would probably probably do some improvements if I did. Lynn is saying, happened to her many a time. Well, the fact that you can do an LOL after that, respect to you. Susan, how are you doing? It's great to have you in. Susan says that she is on board. Susan, thank you so much. And again, for those who are new subscribers to the channel, I do know that some of you came over from Hope Paranormal, from Josh. And I want to thank you guys so much. And I do want to give a shout out to Josh as well. He, I just popped into his live because, to show support for him. And he was very gracious in giving me a shout out on his live. So to Josh, I want to thank you. I appreciate that. So for those of you who are new, I want to welcome you. I want to thank you. You are going to see some things that are a little bit different with my channel, I hope anyways, than what you see with some of the other channels. My approach is a little bit different. There are those out there in the paranormal world that I have, that I agree with. And then there are those that I might have some difficulties with. And I left YouTube for the intention was I was going to leave permanently because I was tired of the things that I was seeing on YouTube. And the whole reason I went public with paranormal is because I was tired of what I was seeing on mainstream media. I was tired of these ghost hunters who were going out and antagonizing ghosts and yelling and screaming at spirits and threatening. I thought, you know what, this isn't the way to do it. And like many of you, I've had a lot of experiences ever since I was a child. And so my journey was, what really is spirit? Let's get away from what Hollywood tells us. Let's get away from what some of these reality shows tell us. Let's get into the heart of what spirit really is. And so that's been my approach. And I've been hitting it hard, even more so lately. The reason I stepped away was because I was frustrated, because I was still trying to be the nice guy. I was still trying to be respectful to everybody out there. And it felt like I was being eaten alive by a lot of these other channels who I have some disagreements with. And a lot of you, and I want to thank you, said, "Hey, Phil, come on back." And so I did. And I did so with a caveat that I was going to approach things a little bit differently. And so please know that any video that I come out with, recently I've been doing some debunking videos. Please know that I don't mean any disrespect to any creator in particular. I'm not going after the creator. I'm studying a particular video. That's why I don't mention channels. I don't mention creators' names. I blur out faces. And so I know there have been some who have stated that perhaps I'm trying to police the paranormal world, and that's not the case. my thing is that we have to come from a place of respect. And one day it's going to be our turn, to cross that veil and to go over. And we're going to have to face those spirits. And so it comes from a place of wanting to keep respect for the field, for the industry, and hopefully, possibly give all of you something to think about, to to maybe look at what we are watching a little more analytically. So I hope that makes some sense, guys, and I hope I haven't upset anyone or turned anyone off, so to speak, uh, by that. I know there has been some concerns, and let's see. I am looking at the responses again. Katharina, thank you. Oh, Susan, thank you. And Gina, always thank you. And so a lot of what I do. Well, first off, here, let me back up a little bit, because trust me, if you have been around me for any certain amount of time, either in person or like this, you know that I'm a talker and that I can go on tangents. So I actually have in front of me bullet points so that I can keep myself on task. Uh, so again, if you are new to the channel, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Feel free to get a hold of me anytime, savingghosts@gmail.com, or at the Facebook page. Now, I want to reintroduce a little bit of my background to everyone, and I'm doing this because, again, we have some new people who have come in, and so I just want to let you know that once I came back from my hiatus, you might have noticed that I started putting my credentials. I started putting up my name and my credentials uh, in the opening of the videos, and there's a reason for that. We have a lot of people out there who are doing these types of videos, who are doing paranormal videos, and they're asking us to trust them. And the way my brain works is, well, why? Why should I trust you? What are your credentials for me to trust you? What But again, I look at the world a little bit differently, I guess. And so I wanted to set myself apart a little bit, because I had some people who were commenting saying, "Oh, you're just like so and so," or "You're trying to be just like so and so." And I thought, no, that's not really the case. So that's why I started putting my name and my credentials up. I'm not doing it to, try to flex any muscle or anything like that, or, give myself a pat on the back. It's to hopefully show to the viewing audience that I do know how to research, that I do know how to look for credible sources, and that I am taking this a little more seriously. So that's why I have that. It's also why I announce that I am a member of the Parapsychological Association. And for me, I think, anyways, it's kind of an important thing. And the reason for that is because the Parapsychological Association, it's a group of doctors and scientists who have gotten together to try to understand everything from ESP to the paranormal. And they're trying to find if there are any legitimate scientific links that can be connected to that. So that's why I put that up there. Again, it's to show credibility, and anybody can go to the Parapsychological Association, look at my name, and you will see me there. So it's not just something that I'm putting out there, just saying that I have it. I actually am a member. You might have also seen that I have QMHA at the end of my name. Part of my education is psychology. I have 2 degrees in business, then I have a minor in psychology, and I spent a lot of time working in health and human services, specifically behavioral health. And to be able to do that work, you have to qualify for what's called a qualified mental health associate. So that's what QMHA stands for, if you see that. And so if anyone ever has any curiosities, that's what that means. I'll take a look here. We have some more responses coming in. See, Okay, so we have Katharina saying, I imagine passing away and someone being mean to you. I don't know if some ghosts are aware that they passed. And that's actually a good point. There are some people who their death happens so quickly, maybe they don't know they have passed. Again, this is all speculation. None of us knows until we actually have to face that day ourselves. Let's see. Steva is saying, it's a really good Finnish channel. They do a great job visiting different interesting locations. They do a lot of research beforehand. They don't translate their videos. So, okay, so I did want to get that out there and maybe try to explain why some of that is the way that it is. I mentioned a little bit earlier about how I was doing some more debunking. And again, the reason for that is I'm not trying to say, oh, look at you, look at you, look at you, you're all fake, you're all fake. You got to pay attention to me. Look at you, you're all fake. That's not what's going on here. I'm trying to create an awareness, especially for people who are saying what I do is real. Trust me, I will never lie to you. And it seems to me of some of the things that are happening maybe aren't so credible. And so I just want to try to put an alternative method of looking at things out there, so that we can look at things a little more analytically. So the big thing that has happened, a few months ago, I did a test, and I did this live over a course of a few days. The whole thing was supposed to be testing whether or not the SLS camera was a legitimate piece of scientific equipment. But what happened during that whole phase, I was working on this device, and this is this is an updated version now, but this is a ultrasonic device. So these two sensors, these are receiving sensors, they can pick up sound outside of the realm of what we can hear, because I have a theory that there's a frequency that if we could pick up on it, that perhaps we could pick up spirit in real time and actually have more of a real conversation. I'm not quite there yet with it, but the testing showed that there was enough promise because of the responses that did come through. There was enough promise that I was able to write a research paper on this, and it is being published by the American Paranormal magazine, and it's going to be going internationally in March. So I am actually really excited about that. And that kind of completes the scientific method in regards to doing this type of testing. We had a theory, we tested it several other times to see which way would work and which ways wouldn't. We found what that was, we documented it, and now it's being published. So we're heading in the right direction, guys. Let's see, we have more comments here. See, it's understandable that you are invested and serious about your field and simply want to educate the public. Well, I hope that's how people are looking at it. I know it is very, very easy to people say that my intentions are a little bit different, that maybe they're a little more devious. And that's not the case. I am bothered by these videos that come out that claim that this is real. And I've asked many of these creators to say, hey, well, if this is actually happening to you, advertise it, or not advertise it, but publish it live. Do a live on it. If you say that your house is being haunted on a regular basis and you're capturing it with your Xbox Connect on a regular basis, do it live so that we can see it in real time. And a lot of people, 99% of them have said no. Now, I know that Josh from Hope, he will do lives. And I'm asking for specific lives too, ones that are free to the public. Okay, again, guys, I apologize. I am reading the comments, and I realize that I really sound kind of monotone in this. I'm going to turn this microphone down. I think that perhaps I could be blowing everyone's eardrums out, and I'm not even realizing it. It's been forever since we've done a live, guys. Forever since we've done a live. So, all right. So for those of you who are new to this channel, I do have one vice, I have one addiction, and I apologize for it, but there are worse ones out there. So I am going to be cracking this open. Forgive me. I'm sorry. I know it's a bad habit. Let's get some product placement going on here. So, and here we go. 1, 2, 3. Oh, that is the sound of sweet freedom right there. So I'm curious, how many of you guys saw the video where I tested out that device back there for the like the water ITC? Oh, Katharina, I know. You know, everything else I do, I try to be healthy with it. I really do. This is literally the only vice that I have. I gave up soda. I try to exercise on a daily basis, or at least as often as I can. This is, and I don't do this every day all the time. There are times I'll give it a break, and there's times that it's like a siren, and it just calls me back, and it just sings that song to me, and I go fluttering over to it. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. That might have been a little more dramatic than what it needed to be for this. So, okay. So some of you are saying that, yeah, you did see it. I'm just curious to know, what do you think about that? Is that something that I should be using? What were your thoughts on it? Do you think it's possible to use something like that? I'm really curious to know what your thoughts are. And Susan is asking, have anyone ever tried connecting to the spirit world through their dream state? Yes. As a matter of fact, I believe it is the theta stage of sleep where that communication is open. A lot of times you can get into that through a good meditative, through good meditation practices. But yes, yeah, that has happened, and there are guided meditations that you can do that are out there that can help you out with that. Amy Jo, what's going on? What's going on? Wait, I just asked that, didn't I? Well, you know what, Katharina? That is actually part of the scientific method right there, is you keep trying to see if you can get the same result as the first time you did it. So that's basically what you do. You just keep repeating it, but you repeat it different ways. And you find out what works and what doesn't. Thank you, Amy Jo. I appreciate it. So, there's a viewer that we have. His name is Sarge Friday, and he actually sends me a lot of messages through the Facebook Messenger. And really good guy. And he told me about that device. He sent me a video of it, and he says, "Hey, do you think you could use this?" And I was intrigued by it because we see a lot of people doing water ITC. I have done it myself, where you put water in a bowl and you shake it up with your fingers or whatever, and you go through the footage and you try to see if there's any visual confirmations that have come through. And so with this, I thought, you know what? That's actually a liquid that's on the inside. I thought, you know what? Here's a way that we can possibly do this where we are hands off. We're not touching anything. Let's see if it works. So, wait, do we have Horror Beauty? What's up, Horror Beauty? How are you? No. Happy to have you here. Absolutely happy to have you here. It has really, you know what, guys? I didn't realize how long it's been since we've done a live. Um, Completely my bad. One thing that I am doing a little bit differently with the channel now. Before, I used to have a Patreon page, and to be honest, guys, it was hard to keep up with this, keep up with the Facebook page, the Patreon page, and then have my life responsibilities as well. So the Patreon page has been dropped, and instead, I just kind of am moving everything over to the members area of YouTube. And for one, it's cheaper. And it's kind of a one-stop shop. Anything that I want to post to just the members, I can do it. So the members knew about this device before I put it out. They get a lot of updates before they're actually made live. They knew about the article being published before anybody else. So just something to kind of toss out there. Kiva, what's going on, man? I said Kiva. Oh, forgive me, Kivo. You have full rights to backhand me the next time you see me for calling you Kiva. I am so sorry about that. Oh, so embarrassing, so embarrassing. But I'm happy that you made it in. So there's a couple of things. So we got really through majority of the bulk of the stuff that I really wanted to talk about. Um, One thing that I did want to touch on. Now, I told you that we'd be doing a live once the ultrasonic device was finally completed, and uh, thank you for having a good sense of humor about that. Seriously, thank you, because that uh, not a good part on my end. But I told everyone that we'd be doing a live once the ultrasonic device had been updated, and it is finally updated. Um, Actually, you know what? I'm going to do this now that I have this ability. I use StreamYard to do these streamings, and they just added an extra dealio here, and that is a technical term, dealio, where I can add in a separate camera. And so I'm going to go ahead and add that in right now. And this is the updated version of the ultrasonic device. If you guys remember, last time it was just one receiving sensor and then just one volume and one tone generator. Well, now we have doubled that. And in addition, I have it to where you can either mount in a separate speaker, kind of like what I have here, or you can plug this into a recording device. The whole idea with this is that you're able to pick up sounds that are outside of normal human hearing range. And the great thing about these ultrasonic receivers is that they can't hear through walls. They have a short reach. And this is all documented. You can look up how, the specifications of ultrasonic receivers. And so if you do pick up anything, it has happened in that room. And so that's what I'm excited about. We're not quite to the point yet where we can hear everything live. You still have to put it into your audio software and really boost that volume. But I have done that live as well. And sorry, again, I'm looking at the chats here, and left brain, right brain. Hey, Carol, how are you? Okay, I have not ever heard of Animal Land. And now this is just an assumption. This is just an opinion. I have no truth to back, or no proof to back this up with. I would think that because animals are pure spirit, that they wouldn't get stuck anywhere. That is just my thought. I welcome your opinions, guys. Um, I do have a personal experience, though, and I'm sure everybody here does. Um, One of my first dogs that I actually ever connected with was a Cocker Spaniel by the name of Lady. And she lived to be about 13 years old. And she had come down with cancer really bad, and unfortunately had to put her down. And I stayed in the room with her while the vet did what they had to do, and it was a hard moment to go through. Not that night, but the following night. I was sitting on the couch watching TV. It was probably about 10 o'clock at night. And I recall looking over at the kitchen wall, and there was a shadow of her on that wall staring right at me. And I didn't know what to think about it at first. Again, I was maybe 16 when this was happening. And it freaked me out a little bit, but I was happy to see her, and I didn't know what it meant. I had a lot of questions and a lot of confusion going through my head. And and it was so weird the way the shadow just kind of went away. And I just always took it as if that was her peeking in one more time, either saying goodbye or letting me know that she's still around. I still have a connection to her. At least I still feel like I have a connection to her. So I think that I think that animal spirits are pure, and I can't see them getting stuck anywhere. Marie, what's going on? Marie, and Pierre, two of our really good friends from across the pond. So happy to have you here. And my understanding is that you're going to be coming back to YouTube. I hope you are. Marie has a channel called Voices from Beyond Paranormal. And I'm really kind of annoyed that her channel doesn't get more views than what it gets, and I'm vowing to help her out because she has, just because of where she lives in the UK, she has fantastic locations, and more importantly, what she does is sincere. So Marie, it's always great to have you here. Okay, going back very soon, and actually another one of our friends, Necro Chatter. Sean, he's going to be coming back from what I understand. He may slap me for saying that, but he may be coming back. And so good for him. I hope he does. So what I wanted to do, guys, is I wanted to show you a little bit how this works. And the reason I have the second camera, because I want to put my money where my mouth is, I want to show you how everything is connected. As of right now, you can tell this isn't connected to anything. It's operated on battery, and basically, guys, these are battery casings that go for bass guitars, electric bass guitars. You can get them on Amazon. Super easy to get back into. But kind of the same idea. I'm going to turn the speaker on. It's a Bluetooth speaker, so you can see that it's on. Turn this volume up here. Turn this volume up. You guys should be able to hear this. Let me know, guys, if you can hear this or not. You should hear like a whirring, buzzing type sound. If you can hear that, okay, yeah. So if you can hear that, that is the sound of air. So just to show you, I'm going to take my fingers and I'm just going to rub them like this. And you should be able to hear that. So that shows you how sensitive these are. And then over here, we can adjust that frequency. So what we do is we try to tune into whatever frequency we think would work. I personally try to get it to where we're not hearing any like loud buzzing sounds or anything. Ooh. So the idea of this is that we can now listen into the audio range that normally can't be heard with human ears. And in a little bit, I'm going to plug this into the microphone amplifier right over here. And then we can see if we can we'll see if we can do a little bit of a session, and maybe we can get something. So, okay, so Siva's asking, how much does this device cost? This is a device that I built based on the premise of there's technology out there that can listen to bats, that can hear bats flying around, bats, birds, things like that. And it's very similar technology. Oh, sorry about that, guys. I'm trying to adjust this volume again. I think this device, how much did it cost me to build it? I want to say it probably cost me right around $100 to build. So we shouldn't be hearing any other noises from that. I have it shut off now. But I'm going to be doing some experiments with this again very, very soon. I wanted to do some work with the HSB1 app. I promised Josh that I would. I haven't worked with it in a while, and frankly, it's proven to be a pretty good app, so I do like it. I am going to be redirecting a little bit because I do want to do some more work with this. Marie's channel, once again, for those who are asking, is Voices from Beyond. Oh, we've got a naughty mouse. Happy to have you here. Looks like we got some of the old crew back in. Now, I know I said this in a live or in a video in the past, but I do want to clarify that I am no longer going to be doing any celebrity sessions for anyone that was alive during the recording era. So if there's any voice recordings of anyone, regardless of what era they're from, I probably 99% chances are I will not be doing a session on them. I will be doing historical figures, though, partially because I have an interest in it. So for those of you who have asked for me to reach out to celebrities, I'm sorry. I know it's something that you want for me to do. I do apologize that, again, celebrity sessions are something that I won't be doing anymore anytime soon, anyways. And of course, Marie is chucking it up right now. Marie, they have a whole handful of people they can go to. So, all right, guys, I'm going to kind of open the floor to you. Does anybody have any questions? I said that part of this would be a Q&A, and we've never done that before, guys. So go ahead. Let me have it. What you got? Put them up. Warrior, what's going on, buddy? Have not talked to you in a minute. How are you doing, my friend? Outlaw Warrior was a part of the Patreon group, actually. Gina, thank you so much. It is very much in its infancy stage right now. What I was able to do and the paper that supports this, what it does is it shows proof of concept. So there's a lot more work to do on it. The biggest thing that we have to do is the voices seem to lie right within the 1000 to 2000 hertz range. That's at the very bottom of the audio range. And so that's why we have to boost it. So we have to try to find a way to just tap in to just that frequency range, and which these sensors can do, but we have to try to amplify it and boost that up. So that's kind of where we're at right now. Marie is asking for my, you know what? It's funny. My scariest experience wasn't really a boo, gotcha type thing. It was the house that I lived in Las Vegas. So if you went upstairs, if you went to the left, there was the master bedroom. Then if you went to the right, there was the office where I did my editing. And then to the right of that was a spare bedroom. And that spare bedroom always kind of freaked me out because there was antique furniture in there, like heavy wooden antique furniture. And I always got this like vibe off of it. I couldn't prove anything, but I kind of got this weird vibe off of it. So there was one night I took this microphone right here that I'm pointing to. I took this microphone, I set it in that room, I ran it to my computer to record overnight, and I closed the door while I slept. Well, I played the audio the next day, and I could hear like the tapping on the blinds. I heard this, and then I heard this like reverby, echoey kind of moan, is the best way I can describe it. I'm kicking myself in the butt now for not keeping that audio because I have no way to prove it now. But that experience really made me take pause and think, okay, what's really going on here? Now, mind you, this was during a time when I wasn't really delving into the science as much. I was just starting to research that a little bit. And, now I can kind of understand what was happening. But yeah, so that one kind of made me like take a breath and go, oh, what was that? So it was nothing that really came out and went, boo, gotcha. It was more of an eerie type of like chill up your spine type of situation for me. Thank you, Rebecca. I appreciate that. Let's see, Katharina, see, what was your thought process growing up with your gift to communicate to the paranormal? I was afraid of it because you have to, keep in mind that when I grew up, it was my biological mom and my stepdad. Oh, that was Buddy. If you're hearing that, sorry. And so my stepdad was very involved in his church. And so whenever I talked about it, it was always, well, those are demons. That's evil. That's, you got to pray to God. So I was scared. I didn't understand what was going on. And, most kids, just because they're not aware of the world and because they're so innocent, well, used to be, I don't know about in today's day, but usually they're open to that stuff a little bit more. And so I was scared of it. And it wasn't until, oh man, I was in my 20s. I've been at this for 22 years now? 23 years. So I was probably about 26, I guess, when I really started going, head first into this and trying to understand, try to get past the fear of it and say, okay, what really is spirit? And I started thinking, well, okay, it's awareness, it's consciousness, and so what's energy? Let's study what energy is. And so it was a slow process, but now I'm not as scared of it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that I can go into just any place and go, ha, we're here to take care of everything. No, that's not the case. I'm human. You get into like when I was at the Trans Allegheny Lunatic Asylum. Oh my goodness, guys. There was like this third story to that place that was so freaky. I was going to go up there. I was going to try to do a session, but here's the thing. There's no lights up there. There's really no lights in the building, period. But it's so easy to get lost in there. Pitch dark. And I was, I was scared. So I didn't go up to the third floor. Second was as far as I could go, but, yeah, sorry guys, I got off topic. Angel, what's going on? Happy to have you back. Thank you for being here. Dina, what's shaking? Nessa, of course, has her new channel. If anyone hasn't checked it out yet, please do. Let's see, what is Gina saying? Do you want to design something similar to that thing that shows the stick figures? Forgive me, I don't remember the name of that device. Would you design something that is better designed? Well, here's my thing, because we're talking about the SLS camera. Raphael, what is shaking? Katharina, I get being scared. A lot of times we're scared of things because we simply just don't understand them. My take, and please understand, this is simply my take. Spirit is consciousness that is energy. And there are scientists right now and professors who are studying consciousness as being energy. New York University is being one of them. I think, is it Virginia Tech? I believe is another one. But you can do a Google, consciousness as energy, and or doctors studying consciousness as energy, and those articles will come up. And so if we can understand that this body isn't all that we are, this is simply the vehicle that allows us to experience this life. Who we truly are is energy that is aware of itself. Yoga kind of teaches the same thing. They teach you that you are not your body. So yoga is actually phenomenal in understanding this part of it. We've got Joanna. Joanna, so happy to have you here. We have a lot of people from Australia, and I happen to love Australia. I spent a little bit of time decades ago in Perth, which is on the kind of the western coast of Australia. Great people, fantastic experience. If anyone could ever get the chance to go to Australia, do it. I would love to go back, to be honest with you. Marie. Oh, Marie, what are we going to do with you? So you're asking about the SLS camera, and if I would ever design something like that. Here's the thing with the SLS camera. We have to understand first and foremost what it is. It's the Xbox Kinect. The Xbox Kinect was designed to use as a gaming controller. It throws out infrared dots, which I have shown in some of my videos, and you can look it up. It puts out these infrared dots that reads your body. The whole idea is that it matches your body structure to the character that you're controlling on the game. And it uses depth, and it also uses infrared. I am assuming that they are thinking that because it uses infrared, that's going to be able to track a spirit. My argument is, and let me make this very, very clear, guys, this is only my opinion. My opinion is that when we pass on, we don't necessarily keep this form. I kind of equate it to a water balloon. You take a water balloon, you fill it with water, and it's taking the shape of that water balloon while it's in there. But the moment you pop that water balloon and the body of it is no longer viable, the water just kind of goes everywhere. And I feel that's kind of the same with us. Oh, we've got April Mancino in the house. April. So that's why I personally don't know if I believe the SLS camera actually works. Yes, we have tried it in the past. We have made versions of it, and every time we used it, we found what objects it was actually tracking. The the situation that we run into is that we get so excited about capturing something. We get so excited about the prospect of making contact that there's a part of our brain that kind of wants to believe anything. And I don't mean that as a slur. I don't mean that as an insult to anyone. I was very much the same way myself. Um, Part of me became a little cynical, and I just started paying attention a little bit more. And I started thinking about the process. How could this work? And that's what brought me to the whole SLS is, okay, well, if we are actually energy, energy doesn't have a form. How can the SLS capture something that does not have a form? And so I tried using steam. I tried using air movement to see if it would capture anything, and it didn't. We ran that experiment with the SLS, and I gave a disclaimer that there were certain objects in the room that it may try to map to. And it did. It tried to map to the desk, to the exact right hand corner of the desk. So there's just not enough evidence, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, that it's a viable piece. Am I working on something? Yes. What I am working on, it involves the study of air movement and being able to see air. Because my thought was, how can we physically see something that is not there? And thank goodness there are smarter people than me out in the world. MIT and again, my all-time favorite, NYU, they have been doing studies on this very thing. And so that is something that I have been working on. Um, I don't have it down yet, but I'm actually excited to show it to you guys when it comes around, because then I think that might be a more viable way of actually trying to see spirit. Um, let's see. Let's see. You have the feeling that those spirits stay around after your sessions. I don't do it often, but when I do, I kind of look over my shoulder for a few days. I think the possibility is always there. I like to believe that there is still a form of free spirit, or free spirit, Lord. Um, my brain just left me. Intentions, basically, to do whatever you want. I would like to think that whenever you run a session, it's kind of like putting on a group talk, like an X talk or like a TED's talk type thing. People come in, they say what they want to say, and then when it's over, everyone kind of gets ushered out. That's what I hope happens. That's why I always try to end my sessions. Again, guys, we never know what's actually happening. We can assume, but anyone who says they know for a fact, I would question them on that. Where do they get their facts from? What is their facts based on? If they say, well, it's just my X years of experience. Well, yeah, personally, me, I need something a little more solid than that. Okay, I'm getting caught up on on the messages here. So, have you ever tried GhostTube or GhostTube Vox? I have tried GhostTube. I haven't tried GhostTube Vox. Now, the thing about GhostTube is that a lot of these smartphones now, you'll notice that they have. Where's my phone? It's charging. A lot of these phones have three lenses on them. One of them is to measure depth. I forget why they have that in there, but it's in there. And so that particular app utilizes that part of the cell phone camera to map whatever. Now, they do give a disclaimer on their app saying that you have to really pay attention to what you're looking at because you could get false positives. And I appreciate them for doing that. I appreciate them for putting that disclaimer on there. Yeah, I have tried it. I used it for about a week and I ended up just deleting the app. So Nessa is saying, I got to go out to New York. Oh, a haunted village. Oh, oh, a haunted. That actually sounds fantastic. What part of New York are you in? You're upstate, aren't you? Again, guys, I apologize if you're watching this after the fact for these long pauses. I'm reading the comments and waiting for comments, actually. Oh, you're in the city. All right. I got a buddy of mine lives up in Buffalo. And, once this winter is over with, man, like I said earlier today, I took a spill for the first time on the ice out here. Man, I used language I have not used since I was in basic training. And no, I'm all good with the winters out here. Nope. East Coast, you can keep your winters. you know, the Southwest desert, yeah, it gets cold, but man, not where you're slipping on ice. So Steve is saying that she does follow the protocol to close her sessions. Never experienced anything afterwards. Awesome. The last time I actually felt something was when it came back from Trans-Allegheny. I was coming out of the kitchen into the dining room, and you know how, like, when you're taking a nap and you can kind of feel someone standing over you if they're looking at you, it kind of felt like that. And so I grabbed my K2, and I know there's a lot of people who don't really care for the K2. I love it. To me, it's a great way to get things going if there is someone there. So I grabbed my K2 and I said, if there's someone here, please light this up as much as you can. If there's not, just leave it alone. And man, it lit up. And I wish I would have recorded that as well. And I said, have you always been here? And it was silent. And I said, did you follow me from the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum? And it lit up again. And I asked, are you male? There was nothing. I asked, are you female? And it lit up. And I said, did you need help with something? And it didn't light up. And I said, well, thank you for being honest. I appreciate it. And then I asked them to politely go back through the gateways and doorways in which they came. And I asked for my protectors and, of course, my angels to close those doorways. So there was someone hanging out, I feel, anyway. I don't feel there was any ill intent. Maybe it was nice to be around for someone for a while. Who knows? But I think that was like the last time anything actually happened like that. Let's see, what was my most exciting spirit session? You know what? Funny enough, the most exciting was when it was Gina, Curtis, and myself, and we were still in Las Vegas. And it was that very first session that we did together called the Campbell House. And the reason that it was so exciting was because that was the first time we'd done anything together. As a matter of fact, that video wasn't even supposed to go live. That was just a test to see how everything would work. But I got excited and I, put it out there. But there was moans that came through. There was a knock that came through on a wall. There was there were Class A EVPs that came through. So I would say that was probably the most exciting. But you know what? Every time you do a session, every time you play something back, you always get a little excited if something comes through because you're hoping something will come through. You're not expecting anything to come through, but if something does come through, then you're like, oh, like there was a video I did right before Christmas. I was talking in front of the tree. I forget which video that was, but when I played the audio back, there was a hey that came through. It sounded like it came to the right of me, and so that was kind of exciting to see. Um, so okay, let's get caught up on the. Have you ever gotten an attachment? Yes. First half of my life, I had an attachment on me. There was some nasty stuff that was happening. And I believe it came from my stepdad, to be honest with you. Uh, I would hear someone walking around in my room at night. I would hear like a wine rack being shook in my room at night, and it was just closing there. Uh, this was the 80s. So, shoes had Velcro on them. So I'd hear the Velcro ripping at night and the bed would vibrate and it's just weird dreams all the time. And so I went to a spiritualist eventually. Um, oh, let me back up. I had moved to Portland, Oregon in 2000. I was sick of Vegas. I moved to Portland. And one early morning, is probably about 4 o'clock in the morning, I heard this really deep, guttural voice say, "Wake up, Phil. It's time to play." And scared the ever loving out of me. So I got up and I thought, okay, enough is enough. I've something is going on and I need to put this to an end. Tried to find something. While I was in Portland, there was just a lot of frauds out there. It wasn't until I went back to Vegas in 2002, my aunt who lives in Vegas, she said, "Hey, I know a spiritualist that could probably help you out with this." So I went to go visit her, and she was phenomenal. And she said that, yeah, you have an attachment. You've had this attachment since you were probably about 5. And 5 is when my mom married my stepdad. They are no longer together, thank God. But that's when she married him. And so, that kind of struck a chord with me. She said, what you need to do is you need to go home, go into a room by yourself, center yourself, and say out loud 3 times, "This is my life. You have no control over me. I command you gone now." And she said, make sure you do that 3 times. She says, when you do that, everyone's going to go away, including your guides. But when you are ready for them to come back, just ask for them and they'll come back. So I I went home and I said that. And there was a physical experience that I have never had in my life and I haven't had since. I could feel it. The sensation was someone took a bucket of water and threw it on me. I could feel from, if you do chakras and all that, from my crown chakra all the way down to my feet, I felt like this, like an onion peeling off of me. It was the most bizarre feeling I had ever had in my life. And I've never had that feeling since. And so I thought, okay, there's something to this. And eventually got to the point where I started asking for my guides to come back. One really cool experience, I'll tell you guys. I had just moved back to Vegas and I was working for Star Trek The Experience in Las Vegas. Awesome company to work for. And I was in bed and I was saying a prayer. And I said, if I have any guides here with me, please let me know. Please find some way just to let me know. I ended the prayer and I started going to sleep, and I felt a hand very gently rest on top of my head. And, I felt okay. I felt like I was watched over. And in Vegas, I just had a ton of experiences. I don't have so many out here. I don't know why. I don't know if it's just I don't have the connection or what it is, but yeah, those were two amazing experiences that are personal and really what made me want to move forward with really studying this from a scientific angle. I'm sorry, guys, I'm blabbering on here. Okay, so Catherine is saying, how do you make a distinction between kind spirits and evil spirits? Everyone's going to have their thoughts on this and their opinions on this. Mine is that we never know who we're talking to. I try to give respect across the board. I also try to lay boundaries down across the board. If I feel that there is a jokester or a prankster or maybe someone who doesn't have the best intention come through, if I can hear them in real time, then I'll ask them to leave. But you never really know. I did a video. It's been a while now, and I got a lot of lashback on it over demons. The idea being, if you take a look through archaeological study when the Bible was actually starting to be written by the Jewish hierarchy, demons weren't even really mentioned. It wasn't even a word. They were called daemon, and daemon was just a spirit that was neither good nor bad. That was kind of a messenger between this world and the afterlife. And then, so as they were translating into the New or to the Old Testament, then the word demon started coming in, taken from daemon. So I never assume that a spirit is good or bad. It's kind of like going into a house party. You never quite know who is who. You want to kind of feel the room out and then play it by ear. I sure hope that makes some sense, guys. Okay, getting caught up again on well, and Raphael, I know we start tiptoeing on a sensitive topic right here, so I'm not going to go too in depth with it. The Bible is something we have to look at it from a couple different angles. We have to look at it from the time that it was written in, and how things were intended for the time, and translate that into today. Oh, yeah, Saint Michael. That's my guy. I'll tell you, Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael. And here's why I call on those two. Archangel Michael, we know him as being a protector, but he's more than that. He's an educator as well. There's a lot to Archangel Michael. And so I do call on him, and I call on Raphael because Raphael is a teacher. He is a guide. And if there's any combo out there that can help a spirit in need, it's going to be those two. Now, I do call on Gabriel and David as well, but yeah, Michael and Raphael are like they're the two that I normally go to. So a lot of you seem to resonate to the Archangel Michael prayer, and I'll tell you, I think he's awesome, personally. And I'll tell you guys, I knew the archangels were kind of out there, but I always thought they were just a Catholic thing. It wasn't until I really started delving into it that the archangels, they go back before Christianity. They go back way back into what we consider pagan beliefs. And so the archangels they're like OGs, So Carol is asking, are you asking if I can do a prayer now? Carol, is that what you're wanting? Oh man, I got like this weird poof going on right here. Man, it's like that point could like poke someone's eye out. Ugh. Okay, so Carol is asking if I could do a prayer right now. Guys, would you mind if I were to do one real quick? We should probably do one anyways if we're gonna try to do a little bit of a session. Thank you, Nessa. Thank you, Anonymous. Okay, Rebecca. So I do want to mention this. Steve is making a really good point, saying my biggest problem is that I have never been religious. I do ask for the angels to close the doorways, but I don't even know what to think about angels. It's a dilemma, and I get that, and I'll be honest with you. It's a thought that I have on a regular basis as well. Because here's the dilemma that I have. If I say that that demons didn't exist until the Jewish faith started transferring the Bible over, then what does that mean about angels? Because if the universe tells us anything, if science tells us anything, there's always a balance, So I'd like to believe that there are bad spirits out there. There are some that are probably worse than others, and there are probably some, excuse me, who have never had a human form. So if that's the case, then the opposite of that has got to be true. There has to be spirits out there who are good, who are loving, who are protectors. Some who used to have a human form, and some who didn't. So, and I also wanna make sure that there's a very strong distinction here. As someone who grew up in a church, that there is a difference between religion and having a spiritual belief. Um, this is not something I want to, have a big debate about because I know it is personal to each person. Um, and I don't want to try to upset anyone as much as possible. Uh, the thing that clued me into that, and I'll just say this to you, I pulled away from the church that I grew up in because I needed to know more. I wasn't getting all the answers that I wanted. And I actually started studying yoga. And I don't mean necessarily the poses, the asanas, or anything like that. I was studying the spiritual side of it. And I thought, you know what? They talk about, the Christ figure a lot uh, in their teachings. They don't necessarily believe he was the main dude like what Western Christianity teaches, but they do acknowledge that he did a lot of good things. And so I thought, okay, so this is bigger than just one religion. This is bigger than what a lot of us are being taught. And I apologize, guys, if I'm kind of going off script here a little bit. Okay, guys. Sorry, that's Buddy back there getting impatient. Okay, so I did promise. Okay, Joanna is saying good energy is good energy, and that is true. So I did say that I was going to put a prayer out there. So I do want to do that real quick, guys. It's good to do one anyway. And even if, let's say, we don't necessarily believe in any type of religious um, relationship with prayer, let's look at it this way, that whatever your intentions are, words are frequencies that travel on a wave. And if those frequencies and those waves can alter the atomic level, and change a frequency, a vibration, which I've talked about in the past, why not do it? You know? So, so I'm gonna just kind of do my standard, guys. Um, Archangel Michael, dear Heavenly God, I want to thank you for this day, which you have given. I thank you for allowing me to be in good company with people. I thank you for the home which I am able to stay in for this time. I ask Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Gabriel, and David to please be here during this time. And we are talking about spirit, and we are talking about good versus evil. And when we do try to reach out to spirit, I do ask that those doorways and those gateways please be open, and please be guarded as well. Please guide those with good intentions and love in their soul to come through and speak should they want to. We are going to try to do something a little bit different tonight, using a different device. For those who want to, they don't have to. I am not demanding anyone do this. I am not saying anyone should. It's only for those who wish to try to get a message across. And to you, I do give thanks. Amen. So that's so they're actually, and I have posted this picture before. In fact, I think it was in one of the last videos, that as our mood changes, it's been medically proven that our vibration will also change. Now, every part of your body, from how your blood flows to how your brain works, everything has a frequency. And you can look this stuff up, guys. It's not me just making up fodder. You can go to reputable medical websites and you can look this stuff up. Um, so, and there are people out there who will say that a prayer has to be very formal and it has to be very, and thou shalt not be thine. No, no, you know, don't be anything more than what you already are, because what you are is good enough. If you can't find the right words, it's okay. If you don't know what to say, that's all right. I think a prayer should be more about feeling and emotion than it should be a formal document that you're trying to memorize and put out. Well, Katharina, isn't that kind of what I said? At least I thought, anyways. That it shouldn't be formal. That it should, be honest to who you are. That was one thing I will say that I did remember from when I was younger. They always said that when you say a prayer, when you want to talk to God, whatever you believe God is, do so honestly. Oh, okay, Katharina, totally my bad. Totally my bad. I apologize for that. I'll usually do one at night. Occasionally, I'll do one in the morning. So, all right, guys. So, what I am going to do, I am going to. Ooh, that's live. Okay, I'm gonna plug that in. So, I just want to show you guys how this is set up. Oh, real quick, Rebecca just said something that was really good. I feel closest to God in nature. And you know what, guys? That's actually a really, really good point. When I was living in Las Vegas, there was two places I used to go to all the time. There's a place called Red Rock Canyon and a place called Valley of Fire. Valley of Fire is where my grandfather and I used to spend a lot of time because he loved it out there so much. And whenever I needed to get away and I needed to just kind of be alone, that was a place that I would go to. That's one of the things that I struggle with Pittsburgh is I don't have that place. And because of how the weather is out here, you don't always have that ability, to get out and do that. And but yeah, nature is really, really good. If you have the ability, yeah, do it. Okay, so I see some people who are okay. Outlaw Warrior, I don't want to get too much in your business, but is that something that you're still going through, that you're still dealing with? Again, I don't want to, get into your personal business. And I'll tell you what, guys, Outlaw Warrior, he's been following this channel for quite some time now, and just a heck of a good guy. Really, just a heck of a good guy. And you know how there's certain people out there in the world that you should just know, even if it's for 5 seconds. He's one of them. He really is one of them. So, guys, I do want to show you how this is being set up for right now. I went back and forth on how I wanted to do this. I didn't know if I wanted to have a microphone aimed at the speaker or have it plugged in, so I'm just going to try plugging it in. There is the way I have this thing built. There's different ways that you can use it. You can plug headsets, which is around. You can plug headsets into it. You can do like what I've done here and take a 3.5 millimeter audio plug and plug it into either recording device or what I have here. This is the microphone amplifier that is plugged into. And this will allow me to run this where you guys can hear it. And I can actually speak to you as well. So, you know what I think I'm going to try to do? I want to do something here I have not done before. This could blow up in my face. Bear with me for a second, gang, as I try to figure out my life. Okay. What is today's date? Today is 27th. Okay, so we're going to pause that. Okay, so what I am going to try to do, I'm going to try to share my other screen with you because I want to show you that I'm going to be recording this as well. I mean, yeah, it's recording it on the live, but I want to record the audio as well. Let's see if I can. Okay, guys, so can you see this this screen here? It's 28. Hello from the future. Thank you, Katharina. Okay, so this is... Okay, good. So you can see it. Okay, so this is the audio program. I'm going to delete this. Or at least I thought I was. What's going on here? So this is the audio program. What's going on? This is the audio program that I use. This is Adobe Audition. There's free software out there that's really good that you can use if you want to try to listen to EVPs or do something kind of like what we're doing here. So again, for full transparency, we have the microphone amplifier. The big black cord is what's going up to this microphone. Okay. The little silver cord is what's plugged into the ultrasonic device. And the blue cord is my, the cord to my headsets. So that's how this is connected. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start recording. Okay, so you can see my voice. And another reason why I'm doing this, and Carol, I believe you actually did this. I think you emailed me. You took some of the audio that I had done, I believe it was with the ultrasonic device, and you went through it and you found other things that I did not hear. So that's why I am doing this. Anybody who wants to pull this audio and try to listen in, you are more than welcome to. I'm going to turn my microphone down just a little bit, because when I go into editing this audio from this is going to have to be amped up quite a bit. Okay, so here we go, gang. Okay. Okay, guys, you're probably going to be hearing like white noise. So I try to have one. I try to have one on a higher frequency and one on a lower frequency. That way we can hopefully capture something in the middle. Rachel, what's going on? We've got Rach in the house. So this one will be the lower frequency. Okay, so if you listen, buddy of mine, Eric. So if you guys can hear that, you can hear some of that noise in there. That is where voices will probably come in. Now, if you take a look at the big screen here in the middle, so you can see where I have been talking, where this red line is at. From here below is usually where those EVPs will come in. So let's go ahead and let's try. Oh, that's interesting. Can you guys hear the fluctuation in that when I put my hand closer? If you can hear that fluctuation, that's actually kind of an important thing, because that shows that the energy that we actually give off. Oh, Lord. Sorry about that, guys. That the energy that we give off actually does move the energy out and around it, so the air. So that's that difference that you're hearing. Okay, good. All right, so we're there. Okay, so hello. This is Philip. Some of you have been calling me Patrick, which is my middle name. If there are any spirits or any souls here who would like to communicate, you are more than welcome to come through. I mean, no harm. I do ask you to, if you can, to use the air in the room to help form your words and put it into this device right here. There's a chance that we could hear you. Is there anybody here with us? If there is, can you give me your name, please? This device won't hurt you. If there is a way that you can manipulate the frequency that this is giving off, to help formulate words, what we are trying to do is see if there's a way that we can physically talk to spirit, what I believe to be consciousness that is energy. Are there any messages that you would like to give to anyone? Is there anything that you need from any of us? Any kind of prayer or I have a theory that your energy that is self-aware. I don't know if you look at it that way, and I could be wrong. Um, but if you have an ability to manipulate the energy around you, to give a noise or to say a word or something, or to translate the air and the particles in this room to where you could form a word or a noise that could be some sort of a clarification. You know, I just had a crazy idea. Is part of the reason why there's a separation between the living and those who have passed on, as far as communication goes, is because there are people who are living who would abuse that privilege, who would take advantage of that. We are told if, that there are people who are conduits to speaking to spirit, and that you can't control who comes to you, good or bad spirits. And I don't know if I believe that. I'd like to believe that boundaries can be put up. I do welcome those who are of love, who are of peace, who are of kindness. And I understand that there are those who are lost, who could be viewed as either good or bad. I'm not judging. Is there any way that you can clarify this? There is a woman who has come through on several occasions when I've used this device and have told me to stop, but never said why. Can you tell me why you want me to stop? Please know that I'm not trying to be disrespectful in any way. I have a specific personality that I'm not going to do something just because someone says so. Um, if there is a legitimate reason why, then I will respect it and consider it. So, can you tell me why I have been requested to stop? That's actually amazing. You can hear the energy change when my hand gets closer. Okay, so both of these are turned up 100%. This device should be allowing us to listen into frequencies that our own ears can't hear. So we should be able to hear you a little bit clearer. Is there anybody who's willing to kind of work with me on this? And who is it that calls me Patrick? Katharina, thank you so much for coming in. I really do appreciate you. Thank you. There's not a lot of people that know me by Patrick, and I can think of a handful of people who have passed that do. And frankly, I don't mind if people call me Patrick. Officially, I was born Philip Patrick Page. I thought I heard a little blurb after I said Philip Patrick Page. Okay, if you came through, I want to thank you. I'm going to start calling this session to an end. Is there anybody who would like to say anything before we leave? I want to thank you for your time. I am going to ask at this point if there are any spiritual souls here to please start making your way back to the gateways and the doorways in which you came. My guides, my spirit guides, my archangels, if you are here, please help usher those spirits out. If there are any spirits that need any help, please guide them with the assistance and the education that they need. I ask, please do not follow me. Please do not stay in this home. Please do not attach to me. I thank you, and I'm closing this session down. Thank you. Goodbye. Okay. All right. And I'm going to shut this down. There we go. Okay, so we will be able to see if anything came through. So I know that people were asking about Ed. I have not heard the name Ed in quite some time now. So I don't know if Ed is still around or what, but it seems like everybody at some point or another runs into this Ed. I have asked on 101 different occasions who Ed is, and I've never, as far as I know, I've never gotten a direct answer. Um, earlier we were talking about Damon and how they were neither good nor bad. I kind of get the impression that is kind of what Ed is, but I can't be for sure. So, a lot of you have mentioned that when this was going on, you thought you heard something come through. I'm going to be interested, to go through this audio and see if we did indeed capture anything. There's a couple of spots where I thought I was hearing kind of like, well, that's not kind of like rustling. So, kind of like what I've done in the past, I am going to uh, edit this. I'm going to listen to it, and I'm going to put timestamps where I think I hear stuff. And so, if you want to come back through and listen to this, you can. So Carol is saying that she heard someone say peace as you left. And I think thank you as well. It's going to be nice if that's there. So, so Raphael is saying that Ed is the equivalent of a Karen. Oh. Oh, that's horrible. I love it. So I will be working on this audio for the next few days. Actually, you know what? Today is Friday. I will see if I can have this. I'll see if I can have this up by Sunday. That's what I'm hoping for. And so yeah. So guys, do you have any questions, comments, or concerns before we call it an evening? My pizza has gotten so cold at this point. So cold. I'm going to have to warm it back up. Well, thank you, Rebecca. I appreciate that. Thank you, Carol. Well, you know what, Raphael? Ed is the nicest thing that you've called me. You haven't called me a pirate in a while. Thank you, Anonymous. I appreciate that. Oh, absolutely, I'm going to. Do you know, I made this dough yesterday and fired up the pizza just before I went live. Yeah, I suck as a party host. Hey, Carol, I've heard of people who use WavePad. How do you like it? Marie, that's what you do to me. Marie, are you still going to be using the PSB7 when you come back to YouTube? Rebecca's bringing back the coconuts. Not a problem, Joanne. Thank you so much. Yeah, Gina, I'm not going to let you down. I'm going to bring it. Okay, cool. So Marie, and I know she's trying to go to bed, but she's going to be using the PSB7. Guys, even though we have all this great technology, the PSB7 is phenomenal. I still stand by it to this day. Some of the best responses we ever got was from the PSB7. Okay. Oh, okay. Marie is going to be using a few new things. Okay. Hey, not a problem, Rebecca. Thank you. Billy Bones, thank you so much for popping in. Of course, Billy Bones being from Vegas, my hometown. It is the PSB7. It is a scanning radio. Oh, the K2 is my favorite. I love the K2. I can't tell you how many times I've been able to go into any kind of environment, turn the K2 on. And what I do is I'll lay down the ground rules. If there's someone here, light up as many as you can. If there's no one here, leave it alone. And so if it goes off, then I'll know, okay, hey, maybe there's something to this. Then I'll investigate that. Was it just a fluke or is there someone actually here? And I'll say, if there's someone here, light it up as much as you can. If not, leave it alone. If it lights up again, then I'll ask, okay, are you spirit? If the answer is yes, light up as many as you can. If the answer is no, leave it alone. If it lights up, doing this yes no session, then I know that there's a possibility that there's an intelligent spirit there, and then I can go forward with my session. The HSB1 app, I gotta tell you, when I first reviewed it, I wasn't quite sure how to use it. Josh sat with me, showed me how to use it, and I get great results on it, guys. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to get caught up with the messages here. And it's an easy app to do. What I do, there's a lot of sound or voice options that you have. I always put it on male and female. And yeah, Steve, the K2, I love it. I stick to it. Raphael, do it backwards. Gina, you don't give yourself enough credit. Hey, how's the PSP 7 been working out for you, by the way? Guys, there are I see a lot on here who have been with me pretty much since day one, and I want to thank you for that. And for those of you who are new, who are still trying to figure out whether or not you can trust me or not, thank you for giving me the chance. I really do appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, good. So Gina is saying that it's working out for her. Fantastic. All right, guys. I think we're going to go ahead and we're going to call this to a close. Thank you so much for spending the last 2 hours with me. My dog is wanting some attention, so I'm going to have to play with him a little bit, I think. I'm going to warm up the pizza, and I'm going to choke it down, and then I'm going to come back and listen to this audio. All right, guys? So I want to thank you so much. Thank you for everything. I appreciate you guys. April, thank you. I'm saying April, thank you. You guys don't even know what I'm looking at. So if you can Raphael. Thank you, Steve. I appreciate it. Thank you, Gina. Hey, thank you, Lynn. Thank you. Rebecca, thank you. I appreciate that. Horror Beauty, thank you so much. And thank you for popping in. I do appreciate it. Carol, I appreciate that. Thank you. All right, guys. Have a good night. Thank you so much.